Welcome to the diary of a specimen angler. Today we're doing a bit of chub fishing, and it's dead simple, dead simple. I don't know why people overcomplicate things. I've got a Maver feeder boom, a 20 gram grip mesh feeder by Drennan. I've got a Drennan quick change bead, and they're being quite cagey today. Really rough. Chub fear. So what we've got a 12-inch 5-pound fluorocarbon uplink to a size 10 Corum specialist hook. Reel is a Drennan, got sand all over it, a Drennan series 7 feeder reel loaded with an 8-pound Maxima. 8 pound because I'm fishing against some snags on the far bank. The rod is a 11-foot Corum Ambition quiver, and it's got the 4-ounce white tip. And there's nothing more to chub fishing that you need is a good loaf of bread and some liquidized bread for putting through the feeder. I've already had a few fish today, but simple. Put your bread on your hook. Put your bread on your size 10. Nice big chunk, don't be shy. And I can untangle everything. Fill your feeder just as you would normally with ground bait. And it should look something like that. And all we have to do now is cast it out. See if one will hang itself. And here we go. Let it hit the bottom. Right, we've just had a quick move of swim, and it's only about 20 yards up the bank from where I was last fishing, but it's a nice little sneaky spot. Just lowering it in down near a tree. So let me show you what we've done. We've took the feeder off, we've put a little 1-ounce lead on, same uplink. It's getting a bit twisted, so I might have to change that. 5-pound fluorocarbon to a shot this time, same size 10, and a nice bit of crust, and it'll just sit just like you carpers will know this rig. It's a little pop-up, well, similar to a pop-up. And I've had a lot of big chub on this peg by doing this. We're not fishing far, we're just fishing under his feet, just under the tree. It's quite deep under there. Like I say, there's usually always a chub under this tree, and you usually catch them on the pop-up crust. So I'm going to sit back, enjoy my can of Red Bull, and soak in the atmosphere of fishing a river. Right, we'll move back into the spot I started in. Nothing happened on the tree, not even a touch, so I don't know what's happened there. That's usually a dead certain for a bite, but first chuck, and I'm getting knocks again. I'm back on the feeder, but I've done something a little bit different with my uplink. Just ringing the changes just to see if I can produce a bite that way. Just keeping my eyes on that rod tip, because usually just as soon as you start doing something else, you know it just hammers it. So I'm going to bring it in now, and I'll show you the little subtle change I've made to my uplink. Right, in the start of the video, I had a 12-inch hook link on. This time I've gone slightly longer, same material, still 5-pound fluorocarbon, but this time I'm fishing it with a little Corum quick stop. They're absolutely fantastic, these, especially for what I'm doing now. I'm just, instead of hooking the crust, I'm Just mounting it on a little quick stop, just like a carp angler's pop-up really. It just gives it a nice subtle presentation, especially if you're feeding loose bread. And got the hook stuck in my feet. Really sharp, these corum hooks. It's just gives it a nice presentation, especially if you're feeding liquidized bread. But it looks something like that, and it's a lovely neat little rig, and it sits lovely on the bottom. Because I'm a carp, because I like my carp fishing, sorry, I do know how to fish pop-ups and stuff like that. And you always test them in the edge, just to see how they sit, and it sits absolutely lovely. And if a chub don't take that, I'll eat me out. That's probably the best cast I've made all day. Stick it on the rest now. See if we can winkle one out. He's back. Just had a right thump on the rod tip then. I don't know if it's took the crust off, because it does come off every now and again, crust. And we've got him. That were a lovely bite, that. I don't think it's a big fish, but it's more than welcome. That was a beautiful bite. It just goes to show you how it's giving a good account of itself. Just goes to show how bringing the changes can bring you a bite. Like I said, it's not a big fish by any means. It's only a small chub, but it's a chub nonetheless. And don't do us a favour, don't put the chub on the sand. It damages the scales, and it's a shame for a beautiful little fish like this. Chub wrestling. It's a beautiful little chub. It's by far not the biggest chub I've ever caught, but goes to show you they love crust as well as flake. And I've just hooked another one on the crust again, and this one's a bit of a better fish. Again, not a massive chub, but it's all good fun. We all love fishing, and it's nice to be out and having a few fish. It's not a big chub, but it's a pretty one. There we go, safely in the landing net. Chub on the mat, and we're gonna unhook it, and it's absolutely nailed. Square, well, nicely in the bottom lip. You see the shot there for holding the crust on the bottom, and it's an absolute peach of a chub. It's a beautiful little fish. Again, not the biggest chub I've ever caught, but it's definitely a pretty fish. Not a mark on this one. As you can see, a beautiful example of a chub. He's very angry, sticking all his fins up, and it's an absolute stunning chub. Not a mark on it. I absolutely love chub, and I think every fish deserves to be respected well. That's why I say don't put them on the don't just put them on the ground. Put them on a nice soft surface, just to keep the scales looking pristine like this one. Right, I'm in again on the same rig, same bait, still pop-up crust, and this one is going absolutely crackers. It's similar size to the last fish, so it's not a big chub, but it's good fun. Yeah, similar size to the last one. It's makes a change from fishing carp puddles and what have you. It's a nice spot and tranquil settings. I'm going to take this one again up on the mat, and we'll have another look at them. This one's actually quite a fat little chub. so it's been feeding well. And again, absolutely pucker in the bottom lip. And them corum hooks. Them corum hooks are absolutely fantastic for all sorts of fishing. Nearly fell down bloody bank. But again, it's a pristine chub. Absolute beautiful fish. And this side's even prettier, so I'll turn him round just so we can have a look at him. Beautiful chub. Again, from the river wire, and you can't beat it on a cold winter's day. It's coming to the end of the session now. Unfortunately, I've had another move, but we'll talk about that when we've unhooked this fish. It's not a chub, but anybody who fishes rivers in winter knows that it's more than likely you are going to catch trout. I don't like catching trout, although on days where nothing else bites, nothing else is feeding, trout can give you a bit of sport. But like I says, I need me disgorging. Like I say, it's a pretty fish, and they are nice to look at. Like all fish, they deserve respect as well, but they are a bit of a pain when you're fishing for chub. You make a load of racket, jumping all over the gaff, but like I say, they are a beautiful fish. What can be nicer than that, really, apart from a massive chub? They are a beautiful, beautiful fish, and yeah, good fun anyway, good scrap. Let's get it back. Like I said before, I showed you guys that trout. It's coming to the end of the session now, and I'm just fishing one of the swims that I've had some really, really big fish out of. I've actually had 2 7-pound chub out of this swim, so I always come down here for the last hour and see if I can winkle one, but the whole problem is there is a lot of trout in this stretch, and I'm fishing cubes of meat to try and avoid them, and nonetheless I had a big spotted thing. But I know plenty of anglers on this particular river that would be over the moon to catch a trout like that on a fly. But hopefully that tip goes round just one more time and we'll have a big chub to show you. Fingers crossed. Unfortunately, guys, we didn't get the big chub we come fishing for, but that's specimen angling for you. It's hard work, very hard work. Got to put a lot of time in. As you can see, I'm all packed up now. Just going to the car. But yeah, it's been a beautiful day on the river, and if you've liked the video, give us a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in episode 2.